Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Starladder Season 9 coverage. We've got Day 17 of the EU coming up. First game, Power Rangers versus Alliance.
A pretty cool one, because the last
Yeah.
two seasons, Power Rangers have beat Alliance. This time around, Power Rangers not doing as well in the actual standings. They're 4-4, which is pretty respectable considering the tough teams in Europe. But Alliance are, I believe, 8-3. They've played a lot of matches, and they've won a lot of matches.
Well, let's double check our grid here. Alliance have played the most games, tied with Relax, actually, and you're right, they are 8-3. And PR, they're seeded number 9 right now at 4-4. So they're kind of right on the cusp. They're going to need to go on some sort of a crazy win streak if they want a shot at the top 4, but
They have won a few of their tougher matches. They've played most of the kind of top tier rated teams. Your Fnatic, I believe Empire as well. So it has been the tougher part of the bracket for them. But end of the day, only the top 4 goes to Kiev. So as soon as you pick up 5-6 losses, you're in a bit of a tough spot.
Yeah, so it should be an interesting game. I'm sure Alliance will want to win this one for no reason other than just not to be upset for the third season in a row here. But I think we can go ahead and hop into our draft. We have, let's see here. Oops, these teams aren't going to be right.
Good to go now.
Production value today, gods. There we go. Got it right. Wipe that brow. So we've got Power Rangers on the dire side. We will have FNG as their drafter. Scandal once again technically standing in, but he is their new solo mid player. And of course, Loda is doing the drafting on the side of Alliance. PR did start off with the first pick, Ancient Apparition. And Alliance took that as an opportunity to grab themselves a Naga and Disruptor with their first 2 picks.
Yeah, by no means the conventional way to draft in the current patch, but Alliance have never really followed the conventions too much. They like this Naga sound a lot, ever since it was one of the best support heroes back during the TI3 era. They were running on EGM all the time, and lately he's been a trending pick just for his kind of split-pushing Radiance carry style of play. So we'll have to see exactly what Alliance have in mind with the Naga Siren, but I don't think they'll immediately be just following what other teams are doing and playing him as a carry necessarily.
Yeah. And the bans from Power Rangers making a fair bit of sense. Alliance have been experimenting with Dazzle a little bit. I think on this patch they're 7-0. So a hero that they have a pretty good win streak with. Not surprised to see him banned out. Shen, pretty obvious. And then Batrider and Clockwork too. Just very annoying heroes. I know Bulldog's been playing a lot of Clockwork as well on this patch.
Alliance's turn to
Power Rangers have got them. I mean, they've got this good global presence so far with their draft. The Nature's Prophet AA Ultimate can come from anywhere on the map, so this is where they're going to be looking to maybe add on to that. I don't think you go as far as picking up the Zeus, just because Zeus is such a kind of weak laning hero. He doesn't actually do very well in the mid lane, but maybe even consider Spectre as your carry hero and get some other kind of global ganking style lineup. Just to sort of make it tricky for Alliance to farm anywhere safely. I mean, force them into this kind of the Stickers 5 and just be very inefficient with their farming.
Yeah, very true. And I like the choice to grab Disruptor. He's a support that he just has such a unique skill set. And we've seen so many games where Disruptor is the difference between a break-even exchange where everyone runs away and then just grabbing a free kill while the opposition is in retreat mode. So I do like that hero, and it's interesting to see Alliance giving him such high priority here as a second pick.
Yeah, I don't think there's an easy explanation to that one. It just seems to, more than anything, it maybe just suits their style and what they want to do a bit. But and something they're very good at using as well. EGM's played this hero quite a bit. Aki as well, sometimes on the Disruptor. So as to why they prefer it over the other supports that we're seeing more of as of late, I don't think there's an easy answer for.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But they've got a good bit of lockdown now between Naga's Net and Song of the Siren. They've got the Impale on Nyx. And also all of the crowd controls the Disruptor can put down with the Static Storm and the Kinetic Field. So a pretty well-rounded draft to get things rolling for Alliance. We'll see how Power Rangers choose to react. And it looks like this more or less unconventional draft maybe throwing PR off their game as they'll burn through most of their bonus time before this draft completes. And they'll settle on a Rubik.
Yep. Not going to reveal too much. So they've got their 2 supports, a Rubik AA, and then they'll look to get their mid as well as their carry with their last 2 picks. And Alliance goes straight into a Mirana, which I imagine maybe Loda's hero for some it's farming Mirana either in like the tri lane, maybe probably not a safe lane, but probably not a solo, but whether it's tri lane in the safe lane or in the off lane. Disruptor Naga Mirana is a very powerful tri lane if they want to send that down up top and go offensive tri lane.
Yeah, the net makes for pretty easy setup for arrows, and then Disruptor makes it pretty darn easy to secure those kills as well. I would guess it's a Loda Mirana here, like you were mentioning, and probably that S4 hero coming out last. I guess they always could switch things up a little bit and put Naga mid, but I don't know. Just looking at this draft, I don't think that's the most likely case.
5 seconds
Yeah, unless
remaining.
at this point they're probably thinking, hey, we don't have to commit to anything until we see what Power Rangers want to do. They pick up a Doom, so
Alliances
another kind
turn
of
to
hero that
battle.
isn't going to give Alliance, isn't going to tell Alliance too much, because this can go mid or it can go to the safe lane, and also it just fits into any draft. So they don't know if Power Rangers are going to go back, pick a hard carry, or they're going to pick something a bit more nuke based, like a hero like a Puck for the mid lane. It doesn't really necessarily say a
10
whole lot about what
seconds
Power Rangers want to do. My guess is it's probably a safe lane Doom, but it's not, no real guarantees there.
Dire team
Yeah,
back.
and Alliance will ban out Puck with their final ban, and I was going to suggest that Puck might be a solid choice for Alliance to actually pick themselves. And if they're indeed looking for an S4 hero, I think they'll need somebody that can be a little bit of a tempo controller in
10
that mid game. And
seconds
Quaswax Invoker
remaining.
would have worked great here, but obviously he's banned out as well.
Alliances
Power Rangers take a
turn
different
to
angle.
pick.
They'll ban out the
Ooh.
Enchantress. Very interesting.
They're worried that maybe Naga Siren is going to be a core hero here. I mean, you could well put Naga in a farming role, Mirana mid, or Naga mid and Mirana farming role. So, in theory, you could be looking for another support if you're Alliance, and have to see if that's what they have in mind. Naga Siren, maybe just going to be a carry. Like, this is one of these drafts you look at and you're just thinking, how are they actually going to do this? I mean, even a hero like
10
Nyx Assassin, it can be
10
generally an
seconds
offlaner
remaining.
currently, but can be played as support if they want to get another
5
offlaner for
seconds
Bulldog.
remaining.
Like, there's
Yeah.
countless options for Alliance here with this draft of theirs.
That's a really good point.
Reserve
And one of the
time.
reasons this is a scary draft and possibly why PR have burned through most of their time. But Alliance, they won't have that luxury of the final pick, so they'll have to reveal their hand a little bit earlier on. And time will tell with what they want to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
No.
I
Well,
don't know. It could
we're in
be
agreement then.
anything. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, it's settled. No one knows. Yeah, I can't even speculate as to what Alliance's last pick might be. For PR, I think it's a bit more straight. I think they would have wanted the Puck for mid lane, but instead of the Puck, they look to heroes maybe like the Dragon Knight, heroes like Brewmaster even. I don't see them run much Brewmaster, but TA is still an option as well, but that kind of gives them just a bit too much. They don't have enough.
Timbersaw could be an option for Alliance if they're thinking that
Shadow
PR will go with the strength hero,
Dire
but
team
no,
pick.
they'll switch it up and they'll grab Shadow Fiend. Probably an S4 Shadow Fiend. We've seen it a couple of times, I think 2 or 3 times ever. I actually pull up the Dat Dota. But I know the game that we casted, Merlini and I casted the other day, maybe a week ago, was there weren't too many Shadow Fiend games in the history of S4, so looks like Alliance will continue with their trend of kind of experimenting outward with some heroes they're
10
not
seconds
traditionally very
remaining.
comfortable with.
Yep. Well, Power Rangers, I don't think this will throw them
5
off too much. They
seconds
definitely won't want to
remaining.
be sending the Doom mid against the Shadow Fiend. They'll want some kind of a mid 1v1 matchup that's, well, maybe not a bit more favorable, but a hero that can actually
Alliances
look for
turn
kills
to
on
pick.
SF when the supports come roaming. And that's going to be your Dragon Knight. He is your mid hero, so Scand will be up against the Shadow Fiend there. Not a great matchup for a Dragon Knight. He does okay with the Bottle Crow Breathe Fire spam, but he's going to need early rotations from his supports, as well as even the Nature's Prophet to look to shut down S4. Because you know Alliance, they're going to be looking to stack all the neutrals all over the jungle just to help S4 get completely out of control here. What have we found?
The Shadow Fiend game that I was referencing was on 319 in Starladder, and that was the first time S4 played Shadow Fiend in a competitive game that was parsed on Dat Dota in 2014. So not a lot of Shadow Fiend data to play with, and that was against Virtus Pro, and they did
for
win.
battle.
So on this patch, S4 looking like a 100% win rate with Shadow Fiend so far. Of course, being facetious, he's only played 1 game, but very interesting nonetheless. It's always cool to see these top-tier teams taking the opportunity in these huge round-robin formats to experiment a little bit, play heroes that they're not traditionally very comfortable with, and well, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
And
While they are experimenting for Alliance, like they're 8-3, which is pretty comfortable. Like they're near the top of the group. I think on points they are top, but like there's some teams with fewer losses, being Empire and Na'Vi. But if they add another loss or 2 here, like to a team like PR and someone else, they could suddenly be in jeopardy of not qualifying for the LAN finals.
yeah. And if I recall, I think against that game with Virtus Pro, S4 actually went for Blink Dagger first on that Shadow Fiend, which is a build that we don't get to see too often either. So it was interesting for a multitude of reasons. And we'll certainly keep tabs on him here throughout this game. Well, let's introduce our rosters here. We do have Alliance on our Radiant side. We will have EGM playing on the Mirana, and he will be supporting down bottom. It is Loda playing on the farming Naga Siren, so not quite the way I thought it would unfold. They'll also be joined by Ake playing on the support Disruptor. It will be S4 solo mid on the Shadow Fiend, and of course the Bulldog will be in the off lane, and he is on the Nyx Assassin.
Alrighty, for the dire side, it's going to be Team Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're going to see, it looks like J4 playing the support Rubik, Ancient Apparition being played by FNG. Those are going to be your two supporters. Mid lane's going to be the stand-in Scandal. Up top, we're going to see Moon playing the farming Doom. And then finally in the offlane, it's going to be CHS, Chris, as I like to call him, playing the Nature's Prophet. We just turned all the Europeans into Americans and give them more Americanized names.
Yeah, I don't know why Cheshire Cat removed all the vowels of his name, but but I guess that's the cool thing to do these days. Looks like S4 could be in some trouble already. AA as well as Rubik are stationed about the high ground.
Though.
Yeah, Haste Rune already out on J4, and he'll actually get stunned inside of tower range, and it'll get turned around the other way. Murata comes in, and Alliance are the ones to secure the first blood. They'll push back Scandal, and actually doing a lot of damage to this AA as well. There's the glimpse back, and they'll make it a 2-0. That's the power of the Disruptor being showed for us already in this game.
Yeah, and Alliance just read Power Rangers so well there. They know that for DK to go mid against SF, he's going to need supports to help him out, look for a lot of rotations, and it's not a guarantee they'll go for a level 1 rotation and level 1 gank, but it's definitely a high possibility of it. You want to get Scandal off to a good early start, and well, they read PR well, they get the counter 2 kills, and suddenly Alliance are off to a fantastic start, as you said.
It was also just a beautiful arrow from EGM. Rubik had a Haste Rune, so that was by no means an easy arrow, and he clipped him right here when he ran right into tower range, and that made it an even easier kill. The tower did probably half of his hit points more so than the heroes. So very nicely done, and of course that opened a little bit of space up for Loda as well to get the ball rolling against this solo Nature's Prophet. He's 4-2 already, and did grab that early Basilius.
Yeah, it opens up a lot for Bulldog especially. He's the one who's normally going to get zoned out by those supports, but he's already almost hit level 3. He's got his boots, picks up a stout shield, and this is a really good start for Bulldog, having those supports go mid, and the fact they failed is obviously even better, but regardless of whether they get the kill or not on SF, he's getting experience and farm.
Yeah. And also, to point out, Shadow Fiend did get one of those kills, so I don't think he had Necromastery at level 1. Now he only has 8 souls stored up, but still, he's off to a good start. And GPM-wise, net worth-wise, he's a hop and a skip ahead of that DK despite their relatively equal farm.
Yeah.
And Scandal does have his bottle coming out, so not all hope is lost, just a little bit of a slow start.
No, not all hope's lost. He didn't actually go down to that bottom lane, and it's just the two supports feeding away. But SF is going to have a fast bottle boot. He's just going to be the one kind of controlling the tempo more. We'll have to see if the Rubik AA look to come back for another gank anytime soon. They have got a smoke, but if they get scattered out and if it fails, then they've really just fallen so incredibly far behind.
Yeah, definitely right about that. And it is a position 1 Doom up here in the top. Moon is their hard carry player, so we'll see how this works out for him. I worry a little bit that Doom is just going to get out-carried here. I think they're going to need to focus this Doom on more of a kind of mid-game based Doom where they can take an edge, because they just won't win the carry war against farming Naga as well as the farming Shadow Fiend. Yeah,
he's more likely to go for arrow mid lane. Just off the mark on Scandal, but I imagine Doom goes more like your Arcane Mech drums type build. Maybe he goes phase drums, but it's going to be more utility. You pretty much always see Doom just go utility nowadays. If the team needs a mech, he'll get one. Otherwise, he goes like drums. Just get stacks up auras, Shivers Guard, these kind of items.
Yeah, Shadowblade Doom is still viable, but we just don't see it nearly as frequently, and it's just left less often that you need a hero like that, especially with the Dragon Knight here. If they need someone to be more of a controller in that mid game, I think he's better suited to go with a Shadowblade first and let Doom be more utility indeed.
Well, Cheshire Cat's just given up on bottom lane. He's like, I'm out of here. He's gone back to the jungle, so deciding he can't really go up against this Crown with good reason against a Disruptor who's now hit level 3. There's 2 points in the glimpse, which basically means his laning stage is over. But that's the beauty of a Prophet. You can fall back, take the jungle, and look to rotate from here.
Yeah, now there will be a rotation from FNG as well as J4. Looks like they want to contest the 4-minute rune at the top position. Bulldog will walk in and grab it. Cheshire Cat rotates in. He will throw out a Sprout. Cut down straight away by Bulldog, but now he's in big trouble. He'll get frozen from the cold feet, and they do grab a kill, though there's rotation from EGM. He connects with an arrow onto the Nature's Prophet, and now Cheshire Cat's in big trouble. S4 throwing some right clicks, and now just turning his focus onto J4. Scandal rotating in as well. A Breathe Fire comes, and S4 taking pretty heavy damage here. One of those Shadow Rays is off the mark, but an Impale from the low ground. That'll create some space for him. They get a kill on the Rubik, and S4 will walk away. Oh, beautiful arrow. And yeah, that'll be a 3-0 going the way of Alliance. Great teamwork right there.
EGM, what a
the
beast.
glimpse. And now DK's in some trouble. Dragon Tail straight away onto the Bulldog. And he may still be able to walk away. There is an Impale, but won't be able to get in range.
They need an Impale and an arrow there, but that arrow saving S4's life on the Shadow Fiend and helping set up another kill with razors was just really impressive to see from EGM.
Yeah. And good use of that healing salve by S4 as well. He basically moved around the tree line here to fog, popped the salve right about here, and right when that arrow connected, he was back to a reasonable amount of HP anyhow. So just well handled across the board by Alliance. Kind of outclassing PR there a little bit, it seemed.
Under attack.
Well, quick disconnect from that. Doom's hit level 6. He's actually playing very aggressive on this top lane. I'm wondering if he's considering going for a kill here. I don't think he wants to pop the Doom and go for this. He has got the phase boots for the movement speed burst. He could, in theory, if this was a pure 1v1 matchup, he would get the kill, but you never know who's going to be TPing in. If someone TPs in, you don't get the kill and you potentially go down. No one actually has a TP ready on the Alliance side, but it's just such a high-risk play from Moon. I don't think he wants to go for it.
Yeah, agreed, and especially against the Nyx Assassin, he could clip him with a stun here to buy himself some time if he thinks Moon's going to commit to it. But yeah, just not worth the risk to dive a tier 2 at this point when you don't have eyes on at least 2 heroes here. You see Ake and EGM are out of dire vision, so it's particularly risky. Also, even Shadow Fiend, he's out of vision right now too. So it just doesn't know where the team is.
Yeah, I overlooked Ake. He does have a TP ready to go on his Disruptor, so he could easily TP in, glimpse of Doom, and there probably would not be enough damage to kill the Nyx Assassin. So unlikely workout. We haven't looked much at Loader. He's farming away at bottom lane, pretty much trading blow for blow with the Doom, both sitting on 33, 34 CS respectively, and Loader's going, looks like, just for a fast boots, drums. Then we'll have to see if he goes back for that Radiance or more just like a Diffusal Blade style of play.
It's a little bit scary to see PR seeming reasonably comfortable just trading farm Doom for Naga, and like you mentioned, they are just about on point. 1 creep difference between the two of them. The big difference is Naga is just going to carry a hell of a lot harder, so I worry anytime I see that kind of equal trade. Hopefully PR are aware of that timeline, and they know that that's only okay until Doom gets those core items up, and then they're going to have to move around and put some crippling pressure on. Luckily for Power Rangers, they do have DK as well as Nature's Prophet, so they will be able to push these towers fairly aggressively in the mid-game. It's more about minimizing their losses here in the early game, which they haven't really done a great job of to get things started. Alliance, they have about a 1,500 gold lead, only about 500 experience, but not too shabby considering we're only at the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, often like your farming Naga Siren games, you're not really looking to start pulling ahead early on gold, and the fact Alliance have put them in a really good position here. Not just the Naga Siren, they've also got the Shadow Fiend here, and this is where I don't think we even see a Radiance coming out of Loader on the Naga, just because you've got the Shadow Fiend as your kind of dual core lineup, and Shadow Fiend can carry a lot of weight. You don't need to play this split push heavy style of Dota with a Naga when you've got Shadow Fiend.
And there will be a Drum of Endurance coming out for Doom. He's got the recipe already purchased, working on the Bracer now. So I don't think they'll get too aggressive at the very least until that item comes out. And DK, no, he's just got his magic wand now, bottle crowing per usual here, as most DKs would. He is now level 6, just about to hit level 7, so that is good news for Scandal. And at least his Dragonite has been doing pretty well. He's been picking up farm in the mid lane, and he has yet to die. So although his team has maybe been a little hyper-aggressive, Scandal has positioned himself a bit more appropriately and can still hold his own against Shadow Fiend. He's only about half a level behind, even though SF is 2-0 and 3 right now.
Yeah, it's you're never thinking very positive thoughts when you see Shadow Fiend with a score like this at just 7 minutes in. 2-0-3 SF when you've been trying to gank and shut him down multiple times. And he's now going to farm himself a big neutral stack as well. This is
a triple stack on the hard camp, so yeah, this is a big boost in experience and gold. Now about halfway into level 8, well, a third of the way into level 8. So that's part of the power of the Radiant side of the Shadow Fiend. You can just rotate into the jungle so easily there.
Yep. FNG does just drop a ward on the high ground in the mid lane. He was smoked up there, but looks like they're actually going to smoke towards top lane here. Scandal.
They'll bump right into Admiral Bulldog. Elder Dragon form used, the Dragon Tail to start things off, and they'll drop the Nyx Assassin before he can even react. The duration of that one stun lock, and now they'll just rotate to this top tower. So a nice kill for Power Rangers, and this will translate to a tower kill. Glyph comes out for Alliance. Their idea, just pressure the tier 1 in the mid and bottom in exchange for this top tower.
Yeah, you said they want to just start pushing down towers using the DK plus Prophet. They'll get one. They may even go for the tier 2 tower, which is where Alliance really need to get these trades. Loader's going to get the tier 1 bottom. S4 wants to get this tier 1 mid. And it looks like he's going to do a lot of damage. Forces a TP already. Power Rangers need more TPs in if they want to stop this push, but for now, they're just going to continue on top.
Yeah, it's only an Ancient Apparition that ported back, so he really won't be too scary to him or on a Shadow Fiend, and if EGM is able to connect with an arrow, I'm sure they'll be able to secure a kill there. It looks like PR will grab this tier 2 in the top lane. There is no Glyph available, but no, they're not going to commit to it. They'll keep it out of deny range. but they will not commit for the push. Tier 1 in the mid still standing, and FNG is still alive as well. Illusion Rune picked up by the Shadow Fiend, and everybody will just walk back to safety. S4 will just go back to farming as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, a pretty even exchange, Tier 1 for Tier 1.
Yeah, and Power Rangers thought they had more out of that exchange, I think. They thought they'd get like 2 towers at top, maybe lose a Tier 1 bottom, but then come back and defend their lanes, like the mid-Tier 1. But they struggled to defend the mid-Tier 1, and I think end of the day, Alliance get a much better trade out of that one. S4 is up to 1k gold now. He's looking really good. And PR, when you have to group as 5 to push towers, you're just falling behind even more in experience. Your Rubik and AA still just level 4, level 5. No ultis coming into play, so that's why it's really a bit of a worry for PR. They've got these very level-dependent supports. Sure, Mirana's still level 4 as well, but Mirana can have a pretty big impact just through using Arrow.
Yeah, and Rubik, he doesn't really come online until level 6 as a reality. At least he's not scary until level 6, I guess is a better word. You can still set up kills with Telekinesis and Fade Bolt, but yeah, really known for that level 6 power. And Disruptor, he is actually just about to level 6 as well. Ake having a pretty good time. And going for kind of an interesting build, not even the value point in Kinetic Field. But we will see it engage in the mid lane. Close range aerial connects, but now EGM's in some trouble. He will take a Dragon Tail, and they will have enough to secure that kill. Moon, playing on the Doom, will be the one to grab the last hit. Doom Ultimate comes out onto S4, but in comes Loda, and there's the Song of the Siren.
Yeah, well, S4's Doom though, so he can't actually set up for a Requiem here. They'll look to focus down Scandal first. Actually, the AA takes a fall. Scandal's going to be next on the Dragon. He's trying to bring down Bulldog with him. Not going to happen. The Razors from S4, spot on. He gets himself a double kill there. Arrow going to be off the mark, just snipes a Treant. Looking for the Doom there, but a 2-for-1 trade. Well played by Alliance. The rotation from Loda was just when he was needed. Didn't even TP in. He actually walked all the way from bottom lane.
Yup, and that's a Blink Dagger on S4 once again. This kind of atypical Shadow Fiend build, but he feels he can get away with it. That will be the end of the Tier 1 mid, and yeah, there's the glimpse back on Doom. Easy kill for Alliance. Again, showing us the power of Disruptor. Any other support in that situation would not have been able to secure that kill.
And Aki's, the way he rotated, he came through like the high ground in this fog here, which has caught the Doom by surprise, and he couldn't get into fog fast enough. The glimpse came out, and he was trapped.
Yeah, Disruptor is just... I mean, how do you deal with that? You just have to be more cautious about your positioning and recognize that when you're in full retreat mode like that, he will catch you with a glimpse.
You have to use fog as the main thing, which is where, like, if you're in fog, they can't glimpse you. Even if you're in range for the cast time, they have to have vision of you, which is... That's where during the daytime especially, it's Disruptor's like playtime. It's kind of the opposite of a Night Stalker in that sense.
An interesting analogy, but definitely on point. So what do you think about this blink first on Shadow Fiend right after power treads?
Oh, it's pretty nice. It just gives us, I mean, having the mobility, you can just move around the map, you can farm more efficiently. He was just blinking to get to runes faster, so in general, it's actually not too bad. He'll go back for a BKB, I imagine. And when you're this far ahead, getting a Blink Dagger up fast can actually help secure more kills, so I do quite like it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good item, and Power Rangers will take a Roshan here. Arrow does fly into the pick, connects onto J4. But just a little bit too late, and Power Rangers will be able to bring down Roche here nice and early at the 11.5 minute mark, and the Aegis will go the way of the Doombringer, who's also now picked up his Drum of Endurance. But yeah, on the point of the Shadow Fiend, 5-0 and 3, level 11. When you go Blink, it's a great item if you can not get caught, but if you get initiated on, that's a pretty big gold sink that ends up being kind of rather useless if they catch you out.
Well, it looks like Power Rangers will have another go at this mid lane. They've got a lot of heroes grouped up here. Only Prophet at bottom, but he can TP in. And I'm not even with an Aegis here. This is still going to be a hard fight to take. Loda, no Song of the Siren, which is the good news. He actually picks up a Soul Ring at 12 minutes in, just to help him with some of his mana problems, which is another kind of interesting choice to be making. But hey, why not? It's pretty cost effective. It gives you some regen as well. And he's going to be ready to fight mid lane in about 20 seconds when he has that Song of the Siren.
Yeah, and that's what's scary for Power Rangers. Pushing into a Naga is just so difficult. It's only a level 1 ulti, which means it has that super long cooldown. But still, they haven't really put the pressure on in a very timely manner. They will switch things up a bit. It will be a 4-man smoke from the mid, and they'll rotate into the jungle. Will they go bottom for the Naga, or will they try and set up a gank mid? And it looks like they'll go down bottom, but this is not going to be an easy kill. As long as Loda doesn't get killed in the time of 1 crowd control, he should be able to just song and TP out. And look at this. Great game sense from Loda. He knows that they're missing, and he is just about as defensive as he can be behind this tower. Alliance moving around the dire jungle, looking for Power Rangers, and they'll be skeptical that there's probably a smoke gank underway.
Yeah, and Loda, as soon as he sends his illusions out, he gets out of their TP's top, knowing that they may actually scout him out under the tier 1 tower bottom. So really smart play from him. They'd given up the smoke gank already, but he knew 4 heroes were missing, and revealing your position is never a smart thing to do when there's 4 heroes potentially smoke gank trying to find you. So he sends his illusions out, TP's top, and then, well, things are safe. And now we look towards S4. He's bottom. He's maybe looking for this kill.
Moonlight Shadow is on. Cheshire Cat, he's going to be in some trouble. Level 2 Requiem of Souls right on top of him. That'll take him down pretty darn low. 1 Shadow Raise to finish him off. And that'll be an easy solo kill from the Shadow Fiend. Also secures the deny on the tier 1 tower down bottom. And, well, S4 just showing off for us right there.
Yeah, 6-0-3 game from a Shadow Fiend. Just 13-14 minutes in. Blink Dagger, 2.6k gold. This is a lot of farm to be having. But Power Rangers, even with a hero down, they're going to maybe look to engage here. Throw an AA ultimate. That reveals where he came from as well. They see the trajectory of that and think, okay, if AA's there, he's probably got backup because he would not be there alone.
Yeah, they'll just go straight into the tower. EGM, he'll leap back to safety, looking for perhaps the Disruptor. What does J4 have? He's going to steal Thunderstrike, so nothing too useful. And now PR will just turn to this tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but they won't be able to take it down in a timely manner either. This is kind of unfortunate for Power Rangers. They've now spent a lot of time just moving around the map looking for ganks with no one really farming, and it's really just helping out Alliance. Now about a 3,500 gold lead, 5,500 experience lead. PR will finally be able to take down the tier 1 tower mid. EGM off the mark with that deny. So they do find something, but I don't know if it was worth it based on that smoke that they wasted and all the time they spent just kind of wandering around the jungle.
Yeah, they finally get the tower, but they have to invest a lot, and this is coming at the cost of just farming their own jungle, splitting the lanes. The experience advantage for Alliance is like 7-8k right now, which is pretty huge. The gold is a lot more even, but that's just because Power Rangers are 5-manning towers. Like, they're grouped up as 5. Alliance are playing a bit scared because there's 5 missing, but Alliance are at least splitting the experience much more evenly.
Yeah, very true. And like we mentioned, they have that late game carry advantage. So as long as Alliance can just minimize their losses early on, and the fact that they're actually ahead right now at the 15-minute mark is just great news. The pressure is not on for them. They can just sit back and really avoid fighting at this point and just make better use about farming on the map. And they know that'll be kind of their golden ticket to victory here. They've got Shadow Fiend and Naga in the 2 top net worth positions. Doom number 3, not far behind the Naga at all, actually just about 5 gold or so. But still, knowing the Shadow Fiend is that much further ahead is certainly a scary statistic.
Yeah. Now, EGM's picked up a Staff of Wizardry, so I think we see some Force Staff play out of this Marana, which is kind of cool. Force Staff's always a great item, and it's one of those things you used to see heroes even like Skeleton get, or AA Ice Blast. That's the global gank. Ice Blast plus Nature's Prophet Ultimate. They had the Observer Ward, they saw him doing it, and he was about half HP. Ice Blast alone would not kill him, but with the Nature's Prophet Wrath of Nature, they get the snipe, and that's a big kill to be getting. Prophet with 800 gold out of that one.
Yeah, that is a huge little swing for Power Rangers right there. But what's scary is Loda. Right now, he's got 3,500 gold sitting in that bank account, which means he will be pulling for a pretty quick Radiance here. And even though he didn't rush the Radiance, went Drums and Ring of Basilius, as well as Soul Ring before grabbing or working towards the Radiance, he's going to have it in a pretty timely manner here, probably around the 18-19 minute mark.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit later, depending on if Power Rangers want to force a fight in the next few minutes.
Power Rangers are going to go for that smoke, so they're looking for at least a pick-off here as they rotate through the Radiant Jungle. They've got the Observer Ward there, so they'll know there aren't many heroes down here. They won't see the Naga. EGM's nearby. Has picked up his Ring of Regen for his Force Staff, but they don't want to kill a Marana with this smoke gank, really. They're hoping for much bigger fish to fry. But
again, Alliance with just superior positioning around the map. We see EGM stationed about the side shop here in the bottom lane, and the rest of Alliance, they're just in a very safe position right now. Loda near that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Ake staying very close to S4. And, well, Marana may get caught out here. We see some pings coming, and EGM just kind of farming in no man's land right now. He'll get telekinesed, fade bolted, and there you go. They'll find the kill on the Marana. But like you said, just a support hero. Yeah. Really not the end of the world. And ultimately, considering it took them a smoke and a 5-man rotation, all that time wasted, still a pretty decent exchange for Alliance. Now Naga has more space to safely farm up that relic.
Yeah, Naga's up to 3.9k gold. That's the relic gold. S4's farming the Ancient, so he's getting closer to his BKB. He actually has it in 65 gold, so he's good to go more or less. And with Radiance plus SF BKB, suddenly PR will struggle to take these fights like they've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that BKB is now complete on Shadow Fiend, so even scarier. And Scandal, he's working on a BKB, but still a little ways off the mark. And speak of the devil, Doombringer, he'll complete his now, so that will be his second item after the Drum of Endurance and the Phase Boots. Pretty standard builds coming out. I think Power Rangers would have been well advised to grab themselves an earlier mech. Looks like Ancient Apparition will be the one working on that item, but he just doesn't have enough farm to really grab it in a timely manner, sitting only on the headdress with about 750 gold. It's still a ways off before he'll have the mechanism complete.
Yeah, Doom could have been a good choice to go for that mech here, but I think the BKB is really essential against this a Naga SF combo, because Sleep is going to be looking to set up Requiem of Souls, and that's where you want to instantly BKB after the Sleep comes off, but we'll have to see if we can get more BKBs up. Dragon Knight getting close to one for himself, and that's going to be one way of making this the Song of the Siren teamfight setup not as effective. But even just Naga Marana is really powerful and scary. You can't actually dodge the arrow out of Sleep if you toggle the Sleep off at the right time. Even with BKB up, the arrow is already on top of you, so you don't actually have time to pop it.
Right, and sometimes the BKB against Naga can be a little bit more of a it can work against you a little bit, because if she pops the ultimate when you're the only one BKB'd, you're isolated, and all of a sudden it goes from a 5v5 to a 5v1. And even though you're BKB'd and immune to magic, you still can't survive the wrath of that many right
and that's where the SF pick's really smart as well, because you need physical damage to kill people when they're BKB'd during the song, and Naga alone doesn't do a whole lot of physical damage, but the SF, he's going to start packing a punch once he's... I mean, he already does, and when he gets another item up, he's going to start right-clicking even harder.
Yeah. There will be a 3-man smoke from Alliance up towards the top lane. Admiral Bulldog in the front with Vendetta on, scouting out the area, looking to see if there's any support inbound, but Cheshire Cat could be in a little bit of trouble here. The smoke will be revealed. Arrow flies just barely off the mark, but they will scout out his TP home, and there will be an Impale to interrupt him. There's the kinetic field, and no way he'll survive to tell the tale. And a free kill will go the way of Alliance, and they secure the kill on that top tier 1 tower.
Yeah. Smart play, just throw the arrow out. They knew someone was there because Bulldog's smoke got revealed, so they just threw the arrow out, tried to scout him out, and even though when the arrow misses, it sets up for the Impale for Nixon. If the Lions want, they may look to apply pressure onto this tier 2 tower. Even EGM sure wants to, but his teammates are actually already mostly, for the most part, backed off a bit.
Yeah, well, there's the Radiance up on Naga right around the 20-minute mark, so really not too shabby again, considering the drums first. Very impressive farm coming out of Loda. And it's just going to get worse from here. He hasn't even started farming yet. He'll make illusions, and he's going to just clear out this Radiant jungle faster than ever before. Force Staff will be up on Mirana before too long. Just needs to wait for her turn to use the Courier. And already another 2,300 gold up on the Shadow Fiend after grabbing the BKB. Nyx Assassin finally level 11. Level 2 Vendetta's online, and he'll just be moving around looking for an opportunity to set up a gank, and Scandal may provide that opportunity for him.
Yeah, he's really trying to get that BKB up, but he's just a little bit short here. It's going to be actually the Doom who's going to get caught out here. The Nyx goes in. Nice Blink Impale from Bulldog. That's the dead J4. AA Ultimate's going to land, but these heroes are already full HP, so that's actually not going to hurt him. Well, hurts EGM a bit with the Breathe Fire. And they find Scandal as well now.
Yeah, Loda comes in. He'll take a Dragon Tail, but to little avail. Scandal just gets obliterated. This Shadow Fiend is scary, and now Power Rangers are just in big trouble. We'll see a buyback coming from the Rubik, but I don't think he'll be able to do much with it.
And I think it was Rubik and AA. They TP'd to the tower and then immediately cancelled it because they'd already lost DK and Doom, and they're like, wait a second, we can't fight this. Rubik bought back to TP in, but couldn't even end up doing so. So Alliance, they get really far ahead now.
Yeah, this is turning into a bit of a disaster for Power Rangers, and I think Alliance are almost at that point where they're going to be able to run away with this game. Again, to go back to it, they've got the better late game. So the fact that they're now ahead 13-5, 22 minutes in, what can Power Rangers do? Cheshire Cat now has his Shadow Blade up on that Nature's Prophet. S4 was channeling the Requiem, but will opt to cancel it, recognizing he probably can't secure that kill without detection. But still will zone out the Nature's Prophet, and they'll just all go back to farming. Loda is 0-0-4 so far this game, so that just goes to show how much he has been focused around farming and how little pressure has come his way.
And he's been focused, like you say, mostly on farming, like 99.5% of the game. But the one or two times he has come to fights, he's had a big impact. That mid-tier 1 tower where he used the Song of the Siren to help set things up. And that top tier 2 tower, his rotation in was kind of that little edge factor which allowed Alliance to completely dominate the fight. Without him, I think they were still okay. But with him there, suddenly the fight becomes a tier 2 tower and like a 3-for-0 trade with a buyback.
Yeah. So what can Power Rangers do here? I mean, they've already tried the Sneak the Roche, which they secured very early on, right around that 11.5-minute mark. Roche has actually respawned, so they could try another crafty smoke into Roche play. They've already tried the 5-man smoke to set up ganks, but Alliance are just... they're not easy to gank on that front. Their map awareness is on point, and I don't know. I mean, if you were coaching Power Rangers right now, Gods, what What would you tell him? What do you do to start turning this game around?
Well, it's desperate times, really. The gold graph is not that bad, but I think the situation is a lot worse than the gold graph kind of implies. Like 7-8k sounds like obviously a sizable deficit, but it's looking really bad from. This is where they have to look, like you say, go for another kind of try and sneak Roshan, but you need to try push out your lanes first. And this is where your Nature's Prophet has to be just spamming that ultimate, not even worrying about using it for fights. Push out the lanes, try sneak a Roshan, and then with an Aegis on your side, go for some smoke ganks. Like look for pickoffs here. If you, for some reason, think Alliance aren't going to be grouped up together. But right now, Alliance, they're just not really putting themselves in position where they can get caught out.
Yeah, there's a double damage rune at the bottom position, but neither side has any vision down there, and it's been sitting there for at least a couple of minutes. Bulldog may scout it out, or no, perhaps not. He'll just walk on by, and it actually looks like Bulldog will be working towards a Dagon on this Nyx Assassin, which will be a little bit scary for PR. He'll rotate mid, and Cheshire Cat, he gets initiated upon by Vendetta.
He's got no mana.
Yeah, the mana drain really crippling him here. That's what I was trying to say, the mana burn. And he won't even be able to Shadow Blade, but unfortunately Bulldog just doesn't have enough damage. And he will walk away. Still space being created here. The bottom tier 2 tower is fallen. And the rest of Alliance will be knocking on the front door of the PR base before too long. And Power Rangers really aren't in a great position to defend right now. Yep. Rubik is smoked up at the top, but he has no TP. This will not be an easy hold.
Oh, here comes your chain ultis. EGM in a bit of trouble. He dodges the Ice Blast. That's pretty crucial there. That could have almost sealed his fate if that one actually landed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, maybe in some trouble here. Does take a level death. And Disruptor will grab a kill on the Ancient Apparition. How did that?
Just the Thunderstrike. That's why he was so far on the high ground. Like, Aki was like going full high ground mode by himself just to get that kill on the Ancient Apparition. And hey, he got it, so
yeah,
not going to question him.
There you go, an easy one-turn exchange coming out for Alliance. Nothing too crazy about it. Ake's having a hell of a game as well. He's 4-0-7. Impressive to see a Disruptor yet to take a spill here at the 25-minute mark as EGM disconnects.
Well, Nyx has Dagon now. That's where that kill on the Nature's Prophet gets a whole lot easier, because you can't really solo kill Prophet before, but with a Dagon, you definitely can. So it's a lot easier for Bulldog to actually deal with the split push of Prophet, and he doesn't need a hero like Loader with his Boots of Travels actually TPing in anymore.
Yep. And still only about a 10,000 golden experience lead. But we've gone back to it many times with the carries as the leading farmers. Alliance have the farm on the heroes that matter. And, of course, that is the Shadow Fiend and the Naga. What's Doom working towards? It looks like an Assault Cuirass will be his next item. Plate Mail and Chain Mail already in the inventory, but still a little ways off grabbing the recipe, as well as the Hyperstone, although now at least he is rather tanky. This is a game that high armor will be important for Power Rangers, so I do like the Assault Cuirass pickup, and that'll up Doom's effective HP quite a bit here. About 1,600 hit points, so he is rather tanky, but Power Rangers still don't have a huge amount of damage output either. I mean, they have some burst damage. They can lock one target down with the Doom, but in terms of team fight, they just don't have that same level of AoE damage that Alliance does.
Yeah, they've just got to focus fire someone who gets caught in the Ice Blast, and that's where the AA Ice Blast and Nature's Prophet ultimates kind of need to be used in tandem to try and set up some kills here. But AA Ice Blast still just level 1, and not exactly a very spammable or 100% reliable skill at all times.
Yeah, and oh, Bulldog, he'll walk right by that sentry. Doom sees it. We see the ping coming out from AA, and Moon will just head back to the base, recognizing that he could be in big trouble. But wow, look at that mana burn. Say goodbye to your mana, Doom. That alone is just so irritating.
PR do look like they want to go into the Roshan pit again, but like you mentioned, Doom, his mana pool getting halved there basically means if Alliance come, he's not going to be as fighting fit. Yes, the butterfly. Oh my god.
And Doom actually has a Wild Wing Ripper inside right now, which is pretty darn good for Roche, to be perfectly frank. That toughness aura does help out quite a bit, but in terms of team fighting, Tornado, not really your ideal ability.
You will not see a Doom standing around casting Tornado in a team fight. I tell you that.
Yeah, but the butterfly is perhaps a bit scarier than anything else we've seen on the field so far. Mostly because PR just have no way to deal with it. You know, they don't have a Chronosphere, they don't have a Hex. They really just have no way to cut through that evasion, and that just ups the effective hit points of Shadow Fiend so much. 35 evasion with no tools to disable it is very scary at the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, sure, Power Rangers have a couple BKBs picked up to deal with all the nuke damage from the SF, the Requiem Soul, the Razors, but the physical damage is going to start kicking in. Even your Moran on EGM, he's gone back for a Yasha now, so he's starting to build some at least semi-DPS of his own, and Power Rangers are just going to watch their last tower fall. They can't even make a play. They're only going to defend on the high ground.
And I think that's the smart play here. It'd be nice to keep that tower alive, but they just can't. It's not worth it. They need that high ground defender's advantage if they even have a a sliver of hope at defending here in this next team fight. So they will just bide their time. Moon getting a little bit closer to that Assault Karas, but still a ways off the mark. Only 1,400 in the bank and still yet to grab the Hyperstone or the recipe. And now Alliance, they'll just take map control. They've put some pretty aggressive wards down. They've got one right smack dab in the middle of the jungle there, and one on the high ground here as well. So they can try and catch Power Rangers off guard if they do press forward. And, well, a good Bulldog ward right here. If someone moves out to the hard camp and they're not at full HP, he might be able to get a pick off. Though I have to admit, the Dire side, despite being kind of cornered right now, they've got some pretty good wards down as well. They've got one down that access point into the Radiant jungle up here by the top rune, and also here to the access point into their jungle, as well as the secret shot up top. So a decent spread of wards around the map, which is definitely good to see.
Yeah, they've got bulk wards, man. They're just all over them. At the same time, they're not the most useful wards. Like these aggressive wards near the top river, like the one in the lane, the one by the one actually at the top rune. Like these kind of overlap a lot, so it's not the most efficient use of their wards. The lane ward at top does help the Prophet know when it's safe to split push this top lane.
Yeah.
And he really wants his tier 2 tower, but in general, these wards will not help them defend, will not help them find pickoffs all that much. But hey, it beats having no wards.
Yeah, definitely true. And the Aegis is up on Doom. He was the one to pick it up after that Roche we didn't make mention. So, well, PR may be looking to take a fight, but now this Naga is really coming online. She's had the Radiance like we mentioned, but Boots of Travel were the first choice, and now the Manta style is complete. So even more Naga illusions, and maybe even more important, Loda very close to level 16. And that's when Song of the Siren just becomes so difficult to deal with. It's up for pretty much every engage, and there you go. Whew. Ake, Ag Scepter on the Disruptor.
Big stuff, yeah. And against the BKBs, this could actually be able to be used to set up kills here. Rubik's just on his own on the high ground at mid. That's an easy kill. Moonlight Shadow being used as well, but I don't even think that was necessary. That was just a straight up easy pick off. As well, Cop's in the Ice Blast, but he's full HP still.
Yeah, they'll scout out Moon in the jungle, and he will waddle back to the base, and he will survive. Down bottom, Bulldog, he engages on Cheshire Cat. He's got the damage for it, now showing off that Daigon, or does he? 8 hit points!
Yeah.
And Cheshire Cat gets off the Shadow Blade to stop that one last auto attack. Very nicely done, but maybe a small stroke of luck right there.
Yeah, that was very, very close. And that's where Bulldog's like, okay, I'm getting Dagon 2. I need to be able to solo kill this Prophet. Dagon 2 it.
So, Alliance will press forward though. Rubik's down, and they know Furion is in the well. Glyph is available for Power Rangers, and Alliance don't have to force the issue. But perhaps if Loda can just catch a nice Song of the Siren to initiate things, especially if she can initiate before the BKBs are out, that makes for an easy Static Storm setup. And of course, the Ags upgrade for Static Storm, in case some of you aren't aware, is we don't see it that often. It not only silences, but prevents item usage. So you can use it to stop people from using BKB, and the follow-up from Shadow Fiend can be huge with the big Requiem of Souls. And, well, speak of the devil, at the very least, Moon will be in some trouble here. And he is caught in the song. Will Static Storm come out? No, they'll just use the Kinetic Field. Still no BKB popped quite yet. He'll save it until after the Aegis is popped. Smart play from the Doom, and he'll be coming back to life in just a few seconds. Alliance may be happy with their choice just to finish off the Doom. There's the Static Storm. As he tries to initiate, they will grab a kill on the Disruptor. And Doom pressing forward out of the base. Although the Naga Illusion is doing a surprising amount of damage here, and Disruptor will end up falling to Doom in the end.
Yeah, I think Alliance should just backed off. When the song only caught the Doom in the front lines, S4 winded up a Requiem of Souls, but that's like for a Doom who, in theory, he could have just BKB'd it. He didn't do so, but he had the Aegis anyways. The Aegis was about to expire as well, so they only initiate on a Doom with BKB and Aegis. They weren't going to get anything out of it. That was just the wrong target to be going for in that situation, and that they get punished for it. I mean, they only lose one at the end of the day, so it's not the end of the world, but that could have gone even worse if Doom actually found the target after killing the Disruptor to pop that ultimate off. If he finds the Nyx or the Mirana, even someone like the SF, if you get the Doom on him and have follow-up damage, you could potentially get a kill.
Yeah, now it looks like there could have been a miscommunication from Power Rangers here, because Moon has now picked up a Shiva's Guard, and it looks like he sold his chainmail. I don't see it anywhere else, and it's not sitting in the inventory any longer.
I think Shiva's is a much better item choice here.
Yeah. And Dragon Knight, he's going to pick up a plate mail, so it looks like he wants to be the Assault Karas carrier. And I think this does make some more sense. And all in all, I guess if you buy chainmail and end up selling it back, it's only like 250 gold wasted. So not the end of the world, but still a little bit unfortunate for Power Rangers.
Well,
one of those minor things. And
this
also,
time they've got no Aegis to defend. This is going to get trickier.
Mech is complete on the Ancient Apparition, and Nature's Prophet going kind of an interesting item choice. He will grab a Maelstrom into Mjolnir, straight after the Shadow Blade. So just kind of an odd build all around. Very, very glass cannon-y here. Only 1,000 hit points for Prophet with essentially no stats. Shadow Blade, Mjolnir, Medallion, and the Phase Boot. So good for pushing, but if he gets caught out, it's a pretty easy kill.
Yeah. Doom in the front lines. He gets a Mjolnir buff on him. The Mjolnir is actually a really nice item since the buffs, and I kind of like it. Like, Nature's Prophet, like you say, very squishy. AA almost dying to some illusions here, but if he goes back for a BKB next, I imagine, I think he can be a pretty good DPS hero. Like, he can actually scale fairly well to the late game.
Yep, he definitely does a lot of damage, no doubt about that, but more immediate here. Power Rangers will be taking some damage. Glyph's still available. BKBs come out. The Doom does burn the ultimate on Shadow Fiend. Song of the Siren was burned, but the BKBs were already popped, and now Alliance will be in kind of retreat mode, at least for now. They may be looking to reinitiate. Arrow will fly and connects with Rubik, but I don't know that they'll hop in to try and secure that kill. Moonlight Shadow does come out, and an Ice Blast actually does connect with Loda. So Alliance will just retreat, save their resources for another time, and they don't force out the Glyph, but they do a considerable amount of damage to that Tier 3 tower and continue to whittle down the base of PR.
Yeah, it's always coming at the cost of a kill, but it's like last time it was just a Disruptor, this time it's just a Nyx. These are not big game-changing kills for Alliance. They're not losing their carry, the SF or the Naga Siren. So for Alliance, they're still just poking and prodding, getting bit by bit closer to getting these Raxes, and once that Tier 3 tower's down, it gets a lot easier to actually breach the high ground.
Yeah, and those were two 10-second BKBs on the Doom as well as the Dragon Knight. So in that context, ooh, yeah, we'll see an engage on EGM, and he'll take a lot of damage. Ake taking heavy damage as well, but Static Storm Kinetic Field will be enough to make it a 1-for-1 support disruptor for the position 1 Doom. So all in all, a good exchange for Alliance.
Yeah, I thought EGM was just going to straight up die there, but not the case here. Prophet actually TP'd in looking for him behind, or near the Tier 2 tower, but it looks like EGM already back to base and leaping his way back out.
And now Alliance may take this opportunity to press forward and perhaps finish off this Tier 3 tower in the mid. They know
top.
Doom is their hard hitter, and yeah, he'll try and pour it out. Oh, the Impale from Bulldog. That's enough to interrupt him and secure the kill. Naga just zoning out Power Rangers with these illusions. And, well, now these barracks starting to take some heavy damage. Glyph is still available. S4 will get that melee racks down to about half health, and then they will retreat and wait for a fresh wave of creeps. Naga just continuing to be an irritant with these illusions.
Yeah, problem is Doom's about to respawn in 10 seconds. He has buyback, but when you're this close to respawning, you do not want to use your buyback.
And AA ultimate flies, connects with the Nyx Assassin, and he may actually shatter here. There you go.
Didn't have the carapace up.
And S4, he'll go back in, doing some more chip damage. Won't have enough to finish off the melee, but ranged racks very close to falling. And not sure what Shadow Fiend's grabbing with this ultimate orb. He could be transitioning into a Scotty, but he's got about 3,500, so if that's his choice, he's actually pretty darn close to completing that big hitting orb effect item.
Either Skadi or Manta, both probably pretty good. Skadi makes you a bit tankier, Manta gives you a bit more pushing power with all the illusions, and with the way this game's going, maybe you want the Manta just so you can keep sending illusions to the high ground, chip away at these Raxes bit by bit. And we'll see soon enough, he can almost afford either of those two items. Maybe just thinking he might want to have buyback this game. Oh, it's going to be a Scotty.
Yep. There is also a gem up on the Dragon Knight, which I don't think we mentioned. It was picked up by the Ancient Apparition. So Moonlight Shadow will be a little bit less useful in these team fights if the Dragon Knight is inbound. So yeah, here we go. And Courier heading over to grab
Dragon Knight's got a Soul Crest, so
remaining pieces here. Oh yeah, that's pretty solid. Not a bad pickup here.
PR are hanging in there. They've done a really good job of just hanging close, not letting Alliance just snowball out of control, and you put yourself in a position where you just haven't lost the game and you've got enough items to maybe win a fight, even if it's a 5-10% chance, they could theoretically still win this. So that's where Alliance have to be a bit careful. They are going to blink in, check out Roshan. It's not respawned just yet, but it should be respawning pretty damn soon.
Yeah, just about 5 or 10 seconds. Kind of unfortunate for Alliance. They check it, and it's one of those in your head. You go, okay, Roche isn't up. 2 seconds later, he respawns, and when in reality, they probably could have secured an easy third Roche. Now they will just change their tone and press up the mid lane. So small bit of unfortunate luck there, but or lack thereof, as it may be.
They haven't got SF. He's bottom, so I don't think we're going to actually see them go for this push. He's going to stop the Nature's Prophet. Tons of treants here waiting for him.
This S4, he is just scary. And now Alliance, I like their choice here to get more tank-oriented items. Shadow Fiend with 2,200 HP, he won't be an easy kill, and all of a sudden, Naga Siren, that's a hard to Tarrasque up on Loda.
Yeah.
So with 2,600 hit points, Naga won't be an easy kill either. And now Cheshire Cat, he could be in some trouble, very low on mana. They will scout him out, Impale on the mark, and it will be there just in the nick of time to interrupt him. And, yeah, plenty of follow-up. The net into Arrow. See you later, Nature's Prophet. He's down for 60 seconds. Buyback is available for him. So he may need to burn it here, as it looks like Alliance will be gearing up for another push towards the mid lane.
Nature's Prophet actually sold his Midas to pick up, I imagine just so he could afford his BKB earlier, but because normally you wouldn't want to sell your Midas CC, but yeah, he's got no Midas now, so the BKB helps you a lot. You really need BKB against this team, though.
Yeah, I think he's feeling like Hail Mary mode is upon him. And here we see initiation onto S4. Song of the Siren flies, but BKBs have already been popped. Doom ultimate onto S4, and this should be a kill on the Shadow Fiend. I don't think he'll survive the duration. Best they can hope for is a deny, and they'll get it. Mirana is the one to come in and grab that, that last hit. Here comes an Impale, connects with 2 heroes. Arrow is actually off the mark, but now they go into Scandal, a huge Static Storm. They'll get the kill on Dragon Knight and Nature's Prophet. Moon going to be the next one to fall on FNG. He'll take an ensnare. He's in big trouble as well. The Glimpse taking an odd zigzag there, but nonetheless, still very potent. They grab a kill on the Rubik, 2 for 5, and the GG well playeds come. Power Rangers will tap out.
Well played by Alliance, but great holding from Power Rangers. They stayed in this game a long time. They got the great initiation in that last fight. The problem was, S4's not the only carry. You kill off the Shadow Fiend, but there was a secondary carry in the Naga Siren. He was dealing tons of damage, and, well, it's the S4 loader, dual core kind of strat, which pays dividends. You mentioned, well, 100% win rate on Shadow Fiend. It stays true once again for S4.
Yeah. The reign of dominance continues. So far, they've dethroned Virtus Pro and Power Rangers, and I'll be excited to see S4 continue on with his Shadow Fiend plays, but all in all, pretty good game. Well played by both sides. Alliance just outclassing Power Rangers a little bit there, it seemed like. Naga still did not concede a single death in that game, ending 2-0 and 10, and that is a scary statistic anytime you see a farming Naga.
I mean, all across the board for Alliance, apart from Bulldog, everyone just sitting on 2 deaths or less. They played very, wasn't even safe. They were moving around the map as a just well-coordinated unit and just not giving away anything to Power Rangers. They couldn't find the kills, and they just started off bad from the get-go, and that level 1 gank on mid failed. That kind of just set the tempo of Alliance, just reading Power Rangers and their movements really well.
Yeah, and it was also a smart choice to grab Nyx Assassin, a hero that works really well to deal with the Rat Dota style of Nature's Prophet. So not really the best game for Prophet. Cheshire Cat played well, but just didn't have many openings to really rat away to any real avail.
Absolutely.
So that was game 1 for today, guys. We do have plenty more Dota coming your way. Up next will be Relax versus Virtus Pro. Then after that will be Next KZ versus Empire. So, we'll take a little break here and then come on back. Next game's scheduled to start in just about 20 minutes. So, well, don't go anywhere, guys, because more Dota 2 is coming your way.